Hello, that's Kalina, King Cat, and today it's my review of Avengers Endgame. I know it's way overdue. Yeah, I know it's been a while and it's out of movie theaters and about to go on streaming and I'm late. And do I have an excuse? No. Here we go. First of all, I did enjoy the film. Yes, it was long. Yes, I made sure not to drink anything prior to going into the movie theater. But both me and my boyfriend kind of did enjoy it. We didn't need to get up. And it actually went pretty quick. Though the second time, I do want to watch it with the pause button at the comfort of my own home. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk the good, the bad, the ugly, what I'm looking forward to. Just a warning, some of the goods may have some bad in it, some of the bads will actually have some redeeming qualities to it, but that's me. I kind of have a tendency to look on both sides of the issue. So let's start with the good. Hawkeye. That one honestly surprised me. Up to the Endgame, Hawkeye kind of seemed to be almost like a background character. Yes, he was part of the original Avengers, but he was always there, but not really there. And finally, he got his own strong storyline, something where you could actually feel for him. You could actually get to know him as a character. So yeah, that was a good one. That was surprising, but good. Kudos. Nebula was the other one who was awesome and unexpected at the same time. That metal machine girl trying to emote and playing both sides of the character. Yeah, that was another really enjoyable storyline. Yes, it's Maxa. Iron Man. Iron Man had a really strong closure to his character. After Infinity War, out of all the Avengers, he managed to create something out of his life. He built a relationship, he had a daughter. For him, life didn't stop. Until a certain rat decided to bring a certain character back from the dead. Well, not exactly dead, he wasn't dead. And mess up everything he had built. The stakes probably could have been higher for Iron Man, because as usual, he was only risking himself. If he had to put his family at risk, it might have been more interesting. I kind of understand why they might have decided not to pursue that. It's a Disney movie. You know, Disney movies, kids friendly. It would have been interesting if he had to choose between his daughter and the world. Anyway, his closure was pretty strong. I am the Iron Man. Though, yeah, this good actually had some negatives. As strong as it was at the moment, after you leave the movie theater, your inner self starts questioning, how could he activate the gauntlet? It was not supposed to be possible for a human being. Yes, he died, but it took him a while. So, yeah, that was kind of questionable. Still strong moment, but leaves you questioning the reality after. Another excellent moment I felt was the Scarlet Witch. When she fought the Thanos and he told her, "I don't even know you." And she responded, "Oh, you will." That was excellent. The Wrath of the Scarlet Witch, who had everything she loved destroyed. I believed every moment of her. And another good, though at the same time very sad, is Natasha Romanoff's storyline. Now, it was hard to say goodbye to her. She was my favorite character. She's still my favorite character. There are not that many Russian characters who are not portrayed as caricatures. And Natasha Romanoff is one of them. She's portrayed as a human being. She's relatable. She's alive. She's living, breathing, laughing, crying. Awesome. And kicking ass. Awesome. All around. She couldn't build a relationship after the Infinity War. I'll get more to it when I talk about Hulk. Frankly, I was kind of hoping if they do have to give her a relationship line, maybe they would pair her up with Captain America. A, because their personalities seem to blend pretty well, and B, there's such a mad chemistry between those two actors. Not using it felt like a waste. Well, maybe some other movie would take advantage of it. But as we know, that's not what happened in the Avengers universe. And she was left to pick up pieces of whatever was left of all those superheroes and humans trying to figure out how to live with half of the population disappearing. Though, going a bit into the bad, showing how all the cities kind of went to waste, that didn't feel really realistic, especially when few years have passed. I would expect them to be a bit cleaner. And also all those empty houses, and nobody moved into them, I didn't really buy it. It's not exactly how I would expect it to happen. Same with abandoned cars. No, not after years have passed. Thanos. I wouldn't call him either good or bad. He's portrayed as this crazy environmentalist who just wants to watch the sunset and plant some veggies on a distant planet. And he's trying to save the galaxy from all those beings, not just humans, who overpopulate it. Which kind of can show that when you take even maybe a good idea to the extreme, it's bad news. Now, the bad. Thor. Fat Thor in the beginning was funny, but then it felt like that joke lasted too long. And the longer it lasted, the less funny it felt. Because he's been in tough situations before. He's been kicked out from his own planet. He's been disowned by his father. And, just going down like that didn't really feel like the character we came to know and love. However, I do think this character storyline has some redeeming qualities. Just knowing how the hero arc is supposed to work. Usually you want to start at one end of the spectrum and then have the character progress and either go all the way up or all the way down and see the actual change. In the Infinity War, Thor reached the top of his potential. Unlike Captain America and Iron Man, he's still continuing in the same universe. He's not gone. He didn't really have any way to go after Infinity War. So to build another arc, to get him up again, they probably needed to bring him all the way down. Also, considering Gamora not really remembering the Star-Lord anymore, with Thor in his prime being around, I don't know how Star-Lord would have been able to compete against this God machine next to him and win Gamora back all over again. Though, I don't know, to me Thor and Gamora are a bit too similar. Again, like if they do need a pairing for Thor, he did already have one love storyline, which apparently didn't work out. He kind of feels like he needs a younger version of his mother. Wait a second. There is a character who is experienced dealing with God. She can keep them calm when needed. She knows the etiquette, and she also enjoys watching.
Oh yes, please, use knives.
Too weird? Yeah, probably too weird. I don't think attraction level was there. Another bad, the closure of Captain America storyline. I liked a lot about it up to the point of him going back, which frankly didn't make sense. With the time travel and all the effects it might have had, and I know they're talking about the parallel universes, but if he went into a parallel universe, how come he was waiting in their universe? I don't know. That entire time travel thing was a bit convoluted. After I left the movie theater, that was one thing what made the least sense. And I kept trying to get it to kind of like line it up logically, and it kept failing. I also should talk about the elephant in the room, and that is Captain Marvel. With all the controversy, before and after the film, frankly, I was expecting something to make it all worthwhile. But she honestly felt like an afterthought. Everything she did in the film was either unnecessary or could have been easily achieved by other means. It felt like they had script already completed, possibly most of the primary photography already finished, and then somewhere decided we need to add that character in, and they got together and like, okay, how could we squeeze her in the least disruptive way? So they added her in the beginning, where instead of Nebula and Iron Man actually fixing the ship, she shows up sparkling like a Christmas tree and delivers the ship to the planet, which otherwise they would have just fixed it and got there on their own. Then there's this whole commotion in the beginning, which again didn't really have any impact on the story. Then she disappears because there are more important things to do in other universes. And then she comes back in the middle of the battle, again sparkling like a Christmas tree, takes the gauntlet, goes to fight Thanos, and then gets smashed by him, and she's out of the battle for the rest of the film. None of that have any lasting impact on the storyline. So my question was like, why is she even there? It's like, was it worth it? Didn't feel like it. And we do have other characters who had their own movies, but didn't really made it into Infinity War or Endgame. Perhaps there might have been a way to introduce her later, but they kind of, I guess somebody felt they needed to squeeze her in. Felt rushed. And she didn't really fit. I don't know. And as you probably figured out, I was not a big fan of that sparkle. I understand when Thor sparkles because he's God of Thunder after all, but with her it just felt like a special effect which was done for the sake of special effect. I don't know. And now the ugly. And for me, the ugly storyline was Hulk. Yes, Hulk. He used to be brilliant scientist and also amazing smasher. After some soul searching and giving up a relationship with Natasha, he reached so-called golden middle and became a mediocrity itself. Still a scientist, but not as brilliant, though he did manage to invent the fountain of youth without realizing it. So if Chris Evans ever decides to reprise his role of Captain America, maybe if they could use that machine with some fine-tuning so he doesn't pee his pants in the process. But as I was saying, Hulk is no longer the same brilliant scientist. He also can no longer smash. So if the filmmaker's goal was to show what the golden middle is not always a golden standard and can in fact be pretty boring, then they made their point. And another ugly, which only Lazy probably didn't talk about, is that girl power moment. I so wish they would have saved it for a poster. I understand what they were going for, but what they achieved was the opposite. You know the moment I'm talking about. Right after Captain Marvel takes the gauntlet, and then they show a shot with every female character in it, and it was so demeaning to all these women, because it showed them valuing a photo op over fighting a battle. Like, why? I really wish they would have cut it out. Is it just me? No, I know it's not just me. There are a lot of us who felt that way. Now, what am I looking forward to after Endgame? Spider-Man movie. Yes, I know it's already in movie theaters. I have not seen it yet. I'm avoiding the reviews. And the reason I haven't seen it yet, because me and my boyfriend have an agreement with certain movies we only watch together. And with our schedules, so far, we haven't had a chance to do it yet. And the film that I'm even more looking forward to is Black Widow movie. I was actually a little bit wary about it at first, because the few franchises that got burned, like Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull comes to mind, also Die Hard. There's a tendency in Hollywood to portray Russian characters as caricatures. Don't know why, just a fact. I read about the director, Kate Shortland, and I'm actually very excited about her. I watched her film Warrior, which is completely different genre. It's a serious drama, but if she brings even a little bit of that seriousness and like those genuine characters into Black Widow, we might get something truly awesome. So this is it for my review. I think the main reason it takes me so long to film this, I'm still not comfortable being myself on camera, which is very different compared to portraying a character. And I think I'm mentally looking for excuses. But the main reason I started this channel is to get over this awkwardness. And the only way I can do it is if I keep filming. So I'll try to do better. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!